Shams, what Zito?
Pat, we have news. The New York Knicks are expected to land on two-time NBA head coach Mike Brown as the franchise's next head coach. And so the Knicks are set to hire Mike Brown. He's won two NBA Coach of the Year awards. He's a four-time champion as an assistant. I'm literally breaking this while I am on with you right now. And so Leon Rose, Knicks president, we know he interviewed a handful of candidates. Taylor Jenkins was in play as well. Micah Nori, the Minnesota Timberwolves assistant, Grizzlies assistant in play. So we have just tapped in here with you guys to announce Mike Brown is expected to be the next Knicks head coach. He's a four-time champion. He's interviewed. He's also coached a ton of star players throughout his entire NBA coaching career.
Congrats to the Knicks and to Mike Brown. Obviously, the Knicks have gone through a draft and free agency and everything without a coach. That is obviously a storyline that people have been dunking on the Knicks for. You guys make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. You have your best year you've had in a long time. You decide to fire your coach and seemingly have no plan on the other side of it. There was a lot of names that were getting thrown out there. There was some time that took place. Bringing in a champion and a guy that has had to lead a program before, I think is probably a good decision. I don't know how Knicks fans will react to this. Let's go to the back. Bruce Brown, Mike Brown, now head coach of the New York Knicks. How do you think New York faithful will feel about this?
Let's go. I'm fired up. I mean, a two-time coach of the year coming in. I think his reputation might be a little bit down after, the ending in Sacramento. But from my perspective, Thibodeau came in with a bit of a damaged reputation, and he brought us to the Eastern Conference Finals and built us into a perennial contender moving forward.
Love the positivity, Shams. You can do your tweet. I saw you trying to do that while you're talking to us. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you, Shams. That was incredible work out of you. The Knicks get a seasoned coach, a known name. I think that's a big deal whenever you're going to New York.
Yeah, for sure. For immediate respect when he walks into that locker room. And I don't know if you remember the video of Mike Brown. I believe he was the head coach of the Sacramento Kings at the time.
He's running in practice.
Yeah, he's going to get in the trenches in between the lines with the guys. He's going to run sprints, much like MC DC out there. But he brings an attitude. I know a defensive-minded coach, once again, just like Tibbs was. But it's going to be about how they buy into him and how the stars, play with him, starting with Jalen Brunson up there. Big body Brunson Burner, whatever we want to call him. It always starts with your star players and keeping that. But Mike Brown, he brings that attitude, and he has that instant credibility. So this is good for Mike Brown landing on his feet.
Good for the Knicks just having a coach, AJ. That was getting a little bit ridiculous. It felt like, just as somebody that is not an NBA insider or NBA coverer, it was like the team in the biggest market in the Mecca with such a storied franchise has been not good for too long, And then they get into the storyline. We happen to be a part of it with the Indiana Pacers, and it's like Ben Stiller's out here, Timothy Chalamet's out here, Spike's out here. Like, it's good for all sports whenever the New York teams are good. And then we see what happens. They get good, and then they fire the coach. It's like, what are you guys doing, man? And then from outside looking in, they got no plan. Like, we're just going to ask every team if we can fucking treat them like a mid-major, we're going to hire their coach. Like, that is... New York Knicks would now like to interview them to be our head coach. And 6 teams are like, no, that is not how this is going to go. So they obviously got mocked and ridiculed. It's like they finally get a head coach. Seems like that team is going to be good regardless. And maybe a new voice in there is the thing that takes them over the hump. Maybe it's Mike Brown.
Well, and the way it ended in Sacramento, to Bruce's point, completely valid, sure. But they also completely blew up that team. And if there was a franchise that hasn't won in a while that actually did turn it around, it's Sacramento. I don't think Sacramento's ever been good in my life except for when Mike Brown was there, and you can go back to Bibby and Vlade and those boys too. But that was White Chocolate. That was a long time ago. And so for him, I think they were the 3 seed 2 or 3 years ago in the West. Yeah, and we've talked about how good the West is. So he's had success in the West. I feel like this is great for the Knicks. It is just kind of your point. He's had no say in any of the free agents or draft picks that they just did. So who knows if that means anything. But I assume there was some agreement like, hey, your style works here. Stick to your style, and let's go back to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'd be pumped. At least you got a dude who's proven it's not some, first you got no idea what's happening.
I think it's a big market. Obviously, anytime you coach anything in New York, Mike would be ready for that, AJ. He's no stranger to any of it.
No, he gets it, but also it's a great spot for Mike Brown. Usually when you get hired as a head coach, the team's garbage, and it's like a rebuild where they're just terrible. So, no, we know the Knicks have a deep playoff run, fire their coach unexpectedly, in my eyes. So, yeah, for Mike Brown, great situation. Hope we can go in there and win.
That Knicks, if Jalen Brunson's just going to make every shot that he takes, I mean, they're going to be good for a long time. You know, it's just watching them play. That was a cool moment. We need to go to more games because whenever you see these games live, there's a lot different conversation you want to have. Like, for instance, everybody is so tall. Kevin Durant.
And they all play so hard, too. It feels like they play very, very hard.
And they run so much. It's just gassers and gassers. Like, nobody talks about NBA guys' cardio. The cardio is never talked about. It's always like the travel, the sleep schedule, the body rest. It's like they got to be cardiovascularly fit, and they're very, very, very big. Yeah. They are all very large. Kevin Durant, LeBron, and Steve Nash had a great Mind the Game podcast. So many clips coming out of that. And they talked about how if you're 6'1", Kevin Durant basically was like, I don't know anymore. Like TJ McConnell's been able to make it because he's just absolute dirt dog out there on the offense and defensive side. There was a couple other guys he mentioned that can make it. He said, but with how tall everybody's getting right now, we just call you out, basically. He said on the defensive side, we're going to attack the 6 foot tall guy, and we're going to play over their head until they stop it, and then we kind of move on. That is watching the Knicks. Jalen, obviously another one of those guys, undersized, but obviously an absolute dog. It's like so big, runs so much, and they seemingly made every shot. Now the Pacers better, obviously. We won that series. No big deal, you know, in your garden, Mike. That in your garden over there. But it's like that Knicks team is real deal. Yeah. And Mike might be able to get them all in line.
That'll be the biggest thing for them is some ball movement because Jalen Brunson is a dominant. He's kind of an offensive savant when it comes to one-on-one, and it's more impressive because of how small he is and the type of big guys that he's doing it against. But you need that type of ball movement, and where Mike Brown won a bunch of those championships out in Golden State, that's what they do better than probably anybody. Steph is obviously, he has the handles, he does that, but Steph running through picks and just running around, so being able to have that ball movement, and then obviously at some point your superstar got to, have court cleared out, make a big time shot, but ball movement, defense, and hopefully Mike Brown, like AJ said, you're walking into a pretty good situation with good players on the roster already, and hopefully you get that support to go out there and actually win in the, what they call the mecca of basketball.
Yeah, Madison Square Garden was electrifying during that playoff series, let alone all the time. Mike Brown might be the one to lead them all the way.
Maybe.
Wow.
See? Still got
we'll see what happens.
What, in the East? There's no Tatum, there's no Halliburton. Obviously, there's going to be good teams.
Yeah, there's a few. We'll see. West is still the West. But to your point about, kind of the size thing, it's like if you go back to Isaiah Thomas. Like Isaiah Thomas was, 5'9", 5'10", and he could score 30 points a game. But every single time when he was on the Celtics, the other team would come down and it would be, okay, let's move the ball. Who's Isaiah Thomas on?